Good afternoon, everyone. Let's do a Sunday weather briefing for this October 22nd. Before we get to the forecast, wanted to point out that we have really seen some nice rains in a big portion of the Argentine growing area so far during this weekend. The map on the left there is 48-hour rainfall totals through 7 o'clock today. And you can see there that a number of spots saw rainfall amounts of more than an inch, even a key location there in southern portion of Cordoba with more than 2.5 inches. And then during the morning hours here on this Sunday, note that a couple of spots there in central Santa Fe and also several locations in eastern Entre Rios seeing rainfall amounts of easily more than an inch. So this period of wet weather in Argentina that I have labeled as the best rainfall event that Argentina has seen so far in this growing season, definitely living up to expectations so far. And if anything, rainfall has been better than my own expectations. So already some nice rains have been put down over the last 48 to 60 hours. Here's my rainfall forecast for South America over the next 15 days. There is additional rain that is going to be falling in Argentina, especially for later on tonight and into tomorrow. After that, the forecast for the rest of the 15-day period does not look dry in Argentina, but I still do think that their very best rains have occurred or will be occurring through the daytime hours tomorrow. The rest of the 15-day forecast, normal rainfall at best, some areas running below normal. Southern growing areas of Brazil, no problem whatsoever with the lack of rainfall there over the next 15 days. They're going to be especially wet there in the 6 to 10 day period with some heavy amounts again falling across a lot of that area. If anything, for the northern growing areas of Brazil, a little bit drier forecast today. I'm still looking at rainfall to be increasing once again in the northern growing areas of Brazil for October 25th, but probably just a couple of days of an increased threat of rainfall, then rainfall probably declining again in the 6 to 10 day period before probably their best range going to be falling in the 11 to 15-day time frame. So not a big change, but especially for Mato Grosso, a little bit drier forecast over the next 15 days versus what I envisioned from back on Friday. Kind of focus on the northern growing areas of Brazil. These are 500 millibar forecasts for 7 o'clock today on the left and for 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday on the right. On the left there, you can easily see why it is still so dry in northern Brazil today and why it is still so hot. Above normal heights across much of South America, big dome of high pressure still present at that time. But things really change by the time you get to 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. The dome of high pressure is gone. All of the above normal heights are gone. Obviously, by Wednesday, that's a lot more favorable situation for rainfall in the northern growing areas of Brazil. The change, though, is that improvement in the rainfall situation there is not going to really be lasting for all that long. Again, looking at 500 millibar forecast on the left this time for 7 o'clock in the morning a week from today. And one can see that by that time in the northern growing areas of Brazil, we once again have above normal heights. And even our 591 dome of high pressure is trying to reappear at that time as well. So I really think that for the 6 to 10 day period of October 27th through the 31st, that rainfall would again be diminishing across a lot of northern Brazil, especially in Mato Grosso. Note though that in the 11 to 15-day time frame on the right, towards the end of the 11 to 15-day period, 7 o'clock in the morning on November 5th, most of the above normal heights are again gone across to Brazil. These 591 dome high pressure is gone once again. Wouldn't call that an overly wet pattern, but again, a pattern in the 11 to 15-day period that should be once again more conducive for rainfall in northern Brazil. So there's your 1 to 5, 6 to 10, and 11 to 15-day% of normal rainfall forecast from the European ensemble. Again, let's first of all focus on Argentina. Good rains. A lot of the rain that is shown there for Argentina has either already occurred today or is going to be occurring for late tonight and into tomorrow. The rest of the 15-day forecast, as you can see, mostly normal rainfall at best in Argentina, with some areas running subnormal. Southern growing areas of Brazil, obviously, they are looking at especially wet conditions there in the 6 to 10 day period. Overall, no problem with the lack of rainfall in southern Brazil and into the soybean growing areas of Paraguay for the next 15 days. Northern soybean growing areas of Brazil, normal rainfall for the 1 to 5 day time frame, most of that occurring for Wednesday, Thursday. A downtrend in rainfall then for the 6 to 10 day period, especially for Mato Grosso and the Matopiba area, and then better rainfall chances again in the 11 to 15-day time frame. We'll also want to mention that over the next 15 days, northern soybean growing areas of Brazil are going to be staying above normal on temperatures on a consistent and on a widespread basis. I will admit that I think that heat in recent days in northern Brazil It's certainly been severe, but maybe not living up to my own expectations. Probably going to be another very hot period of weather there in northern Brazil, especially for the 6 to 10 day period. Southern growing areas of Brazil mostly above normal rainfall over the next 15 days, but too much rain falling there to have big heat on a consistent basis. Growing areas of Argentina looking to run quite close to normal on temperatures over the next 15 days. U.S. temperature and precipitation forecast over the next 15 days. A lot of big warmth for the 1 to 5 day time frame, but note that cold air in northwestern portions of the nation and into northwestern Canada is going to be making its way southeastward in the 6 to 10 day time frame and into the early portion of the 11 to 15 day period. As it does so and as it makes its way into that big warmth in the 1 to 5 day time frame, we are looking at all sorts of precipitation in the middle of the country, especially for the middle of this week through about October 30th. Some big amounts of rainfall in the central corn belt and into eastern portion of the hybrid winter wheat belt. Looks like a big snow event, especially for middle and latter portion of this week into the northern plains. And given the type of cold air that we have in the forecast for the northern plains, once that snow gets put down, it may be sticking around there for quite some time. These are 1 to 5, 6 to 10 day 500 millibar composite forecasts from the European Ensemble, and they illustrate why we are looking at such a stormy period of weather coming up. A trough in the west and a ridge in the east. That's always something that gets me excited about stormy conditions in the middle of the country, and that is what we're going to be seeing on average for both the 1 to 5 and 6 to 10 day periods. A couple of time frames to really note the storminess in the middle of the country. Surface features forecast from the operational models for 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. They are all suggesting a notable area of rainfall in the center third of the country. At the same time, though, a lot of cold air in the northern plains, so there would be heavy snow falling at that time, especially in Montana and into northwestern portions of North Dakota. Another period to note for some stormy conditions probably coming up for around a week from today from the operational models once again, all of them showing a fairly extensive area of rainfall in the Corn Belt. But on the back side of that is enough cold air where we're probably going to be seeing some snow at that time into the northern plains and maybe even into the far northwestern Corn Belt. So here's how I see things shaping up as we get into this stormy period of weather coming up over the next 10 days. Heavy amounts of rainfall throughout the center third of the Corn Belt, getting into a good portion of the hybrid winter wheat belt. Going to be quite a disparity in the hybrid winter wheat belt. A lot of the southwestern portion of Nebraska into far western Kansas, into far western and northwestern portions of the panhandle is into Colorado. A lot of that area seeing just meager amounts, but note how you get further east, and we're looking at some heavy amounts of rainfall in eastern and southeastern portions of the hybrid winter wheat belt, getting into the central third of the corn belt as well. Obviously, a situation where harvesting is going to be shut down in the central third of the corn belt, given the type of amounts that are going to be seen. That's also going to be able to improve river levels in the middle of the country. Into the northern plains, we've got heavy snow in western portions of North Dakota and into Montana for Wednesday through Friday, then some light snow further southeast for the weekend time frame. These are temperature anomaly forecasts from the GFS Ensemble. Like last week, I think that the GFS Ensemble has the best handle on the temperature pattern. By the time we get to Friday, just note the big cold air at that time across the northern plains, but big warmth still in the eastern and southeastern portions of the nation. Obviously, a big battle zone of air masses in the middle of the country, enhancing precipitation chances at that time. The cold in the northern plains is going to be working its way southeastward, though, by Halloween, much of the middle of the country into some below and much below normal temperatures by that time. Again, pointing out the northern plains. Once that snow gets on the ground later on this week, I do think that temperatures are going to be cold enough to keep that snow on the ground right into the early portion of November. A couple of world wheat areas that we continue to keep an eye on right now. Still not a good situation in Australia. Below and well below normal rainfall for another 15 days. Good moisture, though, over the next 15 days, going to continue into Europe, eastward into the winter wheat areas of the former Soviet Union. That's all I have for your Sunday afternoon. Have a great rest of your weekend. We will talk to you again tomorrow morning.